The alarms are going off when you have a PhD, Nobel Prize winning economist telling us that something's not right and it's bound for correction. Let's talk about this. So I wanted to take a quick minute, came across an article that was very interesting because once again, it's more of a signal, more of a sign to those that are watching. Take heed. Everything is well overpriced and ready for a correction. And especially when you have the mainstream news continuing to basically put it right in front of you as to what's going on and what could happen. And unfortunately, those that are not actively investing, those that are not paying attention as to what's going on and know the truth behind what's going on, they're going to be caught in the crosshairs. And so just the article here came out today, and it's from Robert Schiller, as I mentioned. And it says, it's been years since investors have been this fearful of a stock market crash, not correction, but crash. Nobel winning economist warns. So just to share with you briefly, put the link below if you guys want to dissect it more, but highlight a couple things here worthy of mentioning. And so basically it's two indicators here that Robert Schiller is using of which he's created. And of course, he's well respected in the financial world, especially on Wall Street, given the fact that he's predicted a lot of things in the past that have come true. And he basically sets and lays a framework for indicators that people use to navigate these investing waters. So I'll give you an idea here. It says Robert Schiller, a Nobel winning economist, a Yale professor, urging a cautious approach to investing in the top heavy stock market. It says coronavirus crisis and November election have driven fears of a major market crash to the highest level in many years. At the same time, stocks are trading at very high levels. It says that volatile combination doesn't mean that a crash will occur, but it suggests that the risk of one is relatively high. This is a time to be careful. So here's the two indexes I'm talking about. You got the crash confidence index, and he said basically it hasn't been this alarming since 1929 and 1987. And of course, we know what happened during that time frame as well. And then also here's another one, cyclically adjusted price earnings ratio. So once again, it's at an all-time high, similar to what was the build-up, as it says here, in the 1920s. And of course, we know what happened in 29. And it says, despite the signs of distress, the stock market has been trading near a record high, stretching the valuations of stocks to fairly rich levels. And so one of the things it talks about here, he posed a question to a lot of investors that are in these markets now. And the overall consensus is that they're extremely concerned. They're pricing in some type of correction within the next couple of months. And so they themselves are on guard. And then it leads up with a question here. It says the question now is whether another reminder of crashes past could emerge to create a psychological sense of risk, he wrote. And it says a further pickup in the coronavirus cases, a chaotic or violent election, or any number of other events could well shake people up. And of course, we know what the mainstream media is doing right now. They're putting the fact that there's another wave occurring right now in Europe. And of course, I've seen articles where here in the U.S., cases are ticking up as we head into the winter months, which was to be expected. And then, of course, the mainstream media from all angles have basically laid out the foundation that this upcoming election process starting next week officially will be something that we have probably never experienced in this country here. And so for the most part, those two events with the cases and the election are pretty much baked in. And it's obvious it's what those that are trying to orchestrate this great reset globally would love to see.
Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis. What is it that would make it so that history would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset?
The Great Reset is a welcome recognition that this human tragedy must be a wake-up call. It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate, and rebalance our world.
Because whatever chaotic events happens here will have a ripple effect throughout the rest of this world, therefore creating more chaos and further ushering in their desire to have that new world order that is what this, which ultimately is what this is all about. So I want to take a quick minute, share this information here, and then leave you with this here. It says, no one knows the future, but given the general lack of investor confidence amid this pandemic and political polarization, there is a chance that a negative, self-fulfilling prophecy will flourish. So once again, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Other than that, what do you guys think? Are you taking heed? Are you paying attention? Are you still going to be in these markets as they come down, or are you sitting out on the sidelines, or what are you doing? What's your strategy? Of course, get your weight up is the primary indicator of wealth preservation, but what are you doing to navigate these waters? Something worth thinking about.